As a high school student, even though born a Baptist, and the son and grandson of Baptist preachers, I had the unique opportunity to attend a Jesuit high school and was required to participate in several classes on religion, and many were quite a bit more advanced than the religious doctrine that most are taught in Sunday school or Bible study, teaching on theological topics such as distributive and retributive justice, just and unjust wars, moral dilemmas, and the intriguingly provocative topic of complicity with evil. But most others may recall the Ralph Macchio and Joe Seneca film from 1986, Crossroads, a tale derived from the Faustian legend as told by countless authors before them, from Christopher Marlowe to Thomas Mann to Stephen Vincent Benet's Devil and Daniel Webster, and even frames the basis of the 1987 Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro film Angel Heart. And the typical deal with the devil is most often depicted as a single event and transaction, as in the American legend of the blues and jazz singer Robert Johnson, who, at least according to legend, met a man at the crossroads and exchanged his soul for the musical talent that could bring him untold fortune and fame, but also a short life. But the Faustian tale recounted by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe suggests a more detailed development of a relationship, beginning with a transformation of a cavalier gentleman with a cloven foot, who encounters a pentagram in the front of the door of Dr. Faustus to ward off evil spirits that is too powerful for him, Mephistopheles, to overcome, and compelling him to transform himself into a mouse to nibble away at the corners to corrupt its form and power, enabling him then to slip beneath the door and begin his seduction of the kindly doctor. The Faustian seduction account in Goethe borrows some from the legend of the vampire, finding Mephistopheles completely powerless against a person unless he has first received an invitation and their consent, without exemption. And a recent development in the vaccines mandates in Arkansas presents an interesting seduction tale of Faustian proportions for those who had hoped to avoid vaccination mandates through a claim of religious exemption. A narrative similar to one in the legend of the vampire that found one man attempting to escape for his life by producing a crucifix to ward the vampire away to no avail, whereas the vampire informed him that the power of the cross was only effective if the person had possessed a sincerely held faith belief, and otherwise it was just a simple piece of artwork, powerless to save him from his certain fate. The Conway Regional Health System in Arkansas, frustrated by an increase in requests for religious exemptions, citing the use of fetal cell lines in the development and testing of the vaccines, has decided to issue a religious test of a sincerely held faith belief, requiring employees seeking an exemption to swear off common medicines, such as Tylenol, Tums, Preparation H, aspirin, Prilosec OTC, Claritin, Zoloft, Sudafed, Benadryl, X-Lax, Malox, Ibuprofen, Motrin, Senecot, Lipitor, Albuterol, MMR vaccine, and azithromycin, which fall into the same category. And they pose this attestation, they say, for the purposes of education of their employees, as well as to test the sincerity of their staff. A true test of faith, and failure to comply may result in termination. It is of note that Conway Regional Health System went to this extent to research at least 30 common medications that have been prepared through the use of fetal cell lines in the development and testing, and that there were only 5% of the staff who had claimed a religious exemption for them to be compelled to resort to this rather extreme method to mandate vaccines and gain full compliance. So in this series on complicity with evil and the deals we make with the devil, we are going to propose to examine just a bit of the history in Genesis of this not so novel argument regarding a sincerely held faith belief in American jurisprudence. And some of the characters in it may actually surprise you, wittingly or unwittingly. And also for the purpose, like at the Conway Regional Health System in Arkansas, to educate and to assist in forming a better understanding as to how persons of faith arrive at a point in history when they would be compelled to choose between their faith and their employment. A bit of the origins and genesis of this aspect of a novel coronavirus. And later, this should help us to formulate arguments regarding the problems posed by these religious tests under the religious liberties that are guaranteed to all citizens by the Constitution. And certainly now some may be more aware that while many fell asleep in the faith, there was a little mouse that had been busily nibbling away at that pentagram that you had set before your household door to ward off evil spirits and dark powers of evil. That extra level of protection. As Paul writes in his epistle, however, to the early church at Ephesus, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. To those in faith, behold, for you are sent forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents, and harmless as doves. And I charge thee therefore, in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. For time has come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. Live long and prosper, Star Voyagers. This briefing is unclassified, as you were. My name is Major Mike Webb, and by God, I am running for Arlington Public School Board. Let's keep Mike Webb away from our schools. Honest. Carry on. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb.
I used to be a Power Ranger in a former life.
Thunk, I could have had a vaccine.